Hello everyone, this is Moses, the one who help you if you're interested in studying in Korea. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about where to live if you want to study in Korea. Actually, a lot of foreigners who want to come to study in Korea, they wonder where to live between a dormitory and a one-room apartment. So, because I lived in both, today I'm going to tell you what is better. So, let's get it. First of all, let me talk about the dormitory because a lot of students, when they come to Korea, they have no choice but to enter in a dormitory because you can sign a one-room apartment before you come to Korea, right? So that's why a lot of student or foreign student come to Korea and has no choice but to live in a dormitory. Let's talk about the advantages of living in a dormitory. The first advantage is the dormitory is cheap. Yeah, it is cheap. The dormitory is cheaper compared to one-room apartment because dormitories are used in group. And the second one, living in a dormitory is really fun because somehow when you live with other students, you can eat together, go out together, have fun together, and have that feeling that you're living abroad in a Korean university. The third most important thing, living in a dormitory, there are few requirements. It's very, very comfortable to live there because you don't need to do anything. When you have a problem, you can contact the school and the school manager takes care of everything. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages of living in a dormitory. First of all, to be honest, it's a little bit uncomfortable because when you live together with other people, there are some issues. And yeah, I believe that there are some students who doesn't have any issues about living in a dormitory, but it's because they live with other students from the same country. However, if you live with a roommate from a different country, it might be hard because of some different life, culture, language, and the like how they lived, and that's really a big. The second disadvantage, guys, if you don't pay attention, your Korean level will not increase because when you live with your classmates, and for example, in my case, I speak both English and French. So if I meet with a roommate who can speak one of those language, I will be used to talk to him in English or in French, and I will not have that need to want to speak Korean language or to want to make a Korean friend, which is not good. If you live in Korea, you have to improve your Korean language. The third disadvantage of living in a dormitory is a curfew. Guys, I don't really understand about this part because like Korean university, they have this time you don't have to exceed before entering in a dormitory. For example, some of the university it is 12 a.m., other universities 1 a.m., but there is a curfew. So I really wonder why. I'm grown up. Why should I go home before 12? Anyway, and this part is really I don't understand because sometimes when you want to have fun with your friend and go out enjoy, you keep watching like to the watch like it's 11, it's 11:30, I have to go in the dormitory because when you exceed the time you will not enter in the dormitory or you will have to pay some fine. So that's really a disadvantage. Then let's look at the advantages of one room apartment. To be honest, all the disadvantages that I mentioned earlier, it's all disappear. Living in one room apartment, it's very comfortable. Guys, there's no time limit to be in your house. No one use the bathroom with you. No one is present to disorganize your stuff. You just comfort is the best and you are the only one who manage your stuff. So I don't need to mention a lot of things because that the comfort is the advantage. If the one room apartment is good like that, why don't you sign a contract and then live in the apartment compared not in the dormitory? Guys, you might think like this. That's why I will explain to you the disadvantages. First one is the cost. The cost is expensive compared to the dormitory. And another thing, here in Korea, they have this deposit system. For example, if the rent is $300, you will need at least 10 times of the rent before entering into the house, which means you need 3,000 US dollars to enter in the house before. And it's not easy because it's a large amount that you have to give at once. Of course, when you will move out the apartment, they will give it you back, but it's the same thing. When you take this like a big amount of money, it's not easy to get. So that's the advantage. And the burden to pay the maintenance fee is really strong. The reason why living in a dormitory is convenience is because water and electricity are included in the rent. But when you live alone in a one room apartment, you will need to pay the maintenance fees separately, which is a lot of money compared to the dormitory. It's like 3 to 4 times much more than living in a dormitory. Also, this is the biggest problem, guys. Signing a one room apartment contract is really complicated. Even to Korean, it's complicated. So what do you think how it will be hard to foreigners? And I believe if you ever tried to sign a contract, a one room apartment contract, you will understand what I mean, because a lot of foreign students, when they are signing, they don't even, because it is in Korean, and while signing you keep thinking, am I signing for the right thing, am I doing it right? And suddenly you start to remember one of your friends who got scammed, and then you say, oh, what if me too I'll get scammed? And it's really complicated to sign a contract. And if you really want to rent your own one room apartment, please go with a Korean friend and ask him to help you. Yes, guys, today we spoke about the dormitory and one room apartment. In fact, living in one room apartment is very comfortable compared to a dormitory. But if you feel like living in a dormitory, it doesn't matter. You are not uncomfortable, because living in one room apartment, the difference is about the cost and signing the contract. Yeah, I can recommend to you to continue to live in a dormitory. In my case, I just wanted to live comfortably alone. That's why I rented a one room apartment. So if you have anything else you want to ask, or anything else you're curious about studying in Korea, please feel free to comment below and I will come up with another video. Bye.